Good morning. Welcome back to Project 38. Ranger Sprocket here. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning here in southeastern Kentucky. The sun's just coming up over the hill. Probably going to ruin my shot. But today we're going to change the oil on Lady Sprocket's car. And we just want to show you how. Maybe it's the first time you've changed the oil on a vehicle. Maybe you've been considering doing it yourself, try to save you some money. Just want to let you know you can do it. You can absolutely do it. So stick around and we'll show you how. Okay, first thing you'd want to do is two ways to identify the parts that you need. Number one, you can call your auto parts store or stop by and tell them you're needing an oil change for whatever vehicle you're driving. You tell them what you have and they'll look up the oil that you need for it. The only drawback with that is simply this. They sent me this. I asked for Castro GTX oil, and this is exactly what they sent me. They sent me the right weight. However, if you get in your owner's manual, it will tell you specifically what type of oil you need. And these newer GMs require this Dexos, I don't know, is that X or Z in this word? I don't know. They sent me what I asked for, but they did not give me what I need. So it makes very particular things, can cause problems, and this is what the manufacturer has recommended for that. You can see right here on my engine that it requires the Dexos, I don't know, pronounces a Z or an X, I don't know. So you can call or stop by your local parts store and they can give you the oil change, or the best way to do it is get your owner's manual and open it up to the back of the book and search for capacities. When you go to the capacities and open it up into that page, it will give you and tell you exactly what kind of oil that you need. It will tell you how much oil to put in it, exact what type of oil to use. It'll give your oil filter an oil filter number, and you can use all that, and that's all very important stuff. It tells you your transmission fluid, what weight that it needs, what type, how much, power steering fluid, front rear differential fluid, everything that you need you can find in your owner's manual. If your car is real big, you're working on a big truck or something, you may not need to lift it or anything. Get you a set of ramps if you need it. Our vehicle's already up supported on a set of ramps, and we're ready to go. You also need probably something to lay on. You'll need a wrench to fit your oil plug. You'll need maybe a spanner wrench to get your oil filter off, and you'll also need a catch pan to catch these fluids that you're going to drain out of here. So get all those things and I'll meet you under the car. Okay, we're under the car. It's up on some ramps. It's properly stabilized. Please do the same. You want to identify which one is your oil pan. Right here we have the transaxle. It's just out of camera frame, but this is the oil pan, and this will be our drain plug right here. So what you'd want to do is identify what size that you have right there. On a 2016 GMC Terrain, it happens to be a 15 millimeter, and once you get that, you just want to put it on and just loosen that up, and usually they'll spin right out. And so I've always like to put my finger right on the back side of that and just start turning it out. And the reason I do that, so I can hold it in for as long as possible without it leaking and it form a seal. And then right when you can tell that it ain't, just when you can tell that it ain't turning threads anymore, just take a deep breath, get it, and just pull it up real quick. And that'll keep the oil from making such a mess on yourself. I also have a couple paper towels under here just to help clean that up. So we're gonna let that drain. Just let it drain, let it take all the time that it needs. Okay, on this particular vehicle, while the oil is still draining, I think we can get the oil filter off. And the blue thing right there that you see is the oil filter, and you just want to rotate that off just a little bit. Normally I can get them off without or spanner wrench, but you know, sometimes you just absolutely can't. So either this oil is going to go into the catch pan, or I'm going to make a mess all over the place. Turn around where I can grab it. It's just about off. I think I was doing better the other way. Okay, now I'm going to do my best to keep my fingers on it. I'm going to rotate it straight down as not to spill too bad. And I'm going to pull it right up through the engine bay, right out through the hood. Okay, before you put your new filter on, you want to take your filter, you want to check it, make sure you got a gasket on there. Then you want to take a little bit of oil and put a little thin film of oil on this. And what this does, it keeps that from galling up when you turn that in, keeps the gasket from galling. Gives a good seal. That's very critical right there. All right, I think you can see that very well, that there's not a gasket stuck to it, but we just want to come in here. We just want to wipe that off. Make sure that's good and clean. Make sure there's no dirt and debris on there. Just want to lower your filter down in there. Line up the thread hole. And just start turning it on. Sometimes they go real easy like that. Sometimes not so much. Okay. Once you get that screwed on there, and it seats, they say a quarter turn. So a quarter turn in itty bitty baby turns is about 5 or 6 times. About like that. You don't need to Superman these things on there. That gasket does the work. Just want to put it on good and tight. About as tight as you took it off is about as tight as you need to put it back. So now that filter's on there and that's ready. So I'm going to slide back under. We'll put the oil plug back in and then we'll show you what's next. A little bit of drip right there is going to be okay. This thing would probably drip for a month if you'd let it. I'll just wipe that off. That come from the old filter. Just stick it back in there and just turn it in. Okay, that's tight. Now, after you've lost your wrench, roll all over the ground looking for it. Turn it the right way and put it up. Now this, you don't need a lot of tension on this. You don't have to tighten that up. So once it gets on there, just give it a little. You don't have to kill these things, guys. Just right works. I'm sure there's a torque spec on that, but just use common sense. Don't ring it off, because you're going to be back here in about 5,000 to 7,000 miles anyway to change that again. So let's move up top. Okay, this right here is where you put your oil in at. I don't normally open that up while it's draining. I find out it drains faster with that closed, but you just want to open that up. So this particular vehicle takes 6 quarts of oil. I always like to start with my small bottle first. Just open it up. Pierce the seal. Open it back and pour gently. Now, if you don't have a funnel, when you get done with this pour right here, you can take a knife and cut this one and make a funnel out of it. And it just so happens that the thread of this bottle is the same thread with the cap on this particular car, and that thread's right down in there. So I could cut this and make a funnel, and my next bottle goes in, but I have a bigger funnel that I can do it better. So just let that drain a little bit. A big funnel in there. This big 5-quart bottle is the same as that other. Just put that in, turn him sideways, and just pour it on in. And just let that drain for a little while. Also, show you a little tip here. It may took you 3 or 4 wrenches to identify what your oil plug was. So here's something you can do. Over here on my car, I just got a white paint pen that I keep handy, and on here I wrote that it takes 6 quarts of oil, that the weight is 5W30, and that my oil plug is 15 millimeter. Quick little handy little thing when you change the oil. I've done that to every vehicle that I've ever owned. You could also write your Oil filter number down on there if you wanted to. This particular one is a PF63. It's an AC Delco. You could write your air filter number down there if you wanted to. Just quick little things. If you was getting ready to run into the store to buy an oil change, you could just raise your hood right quick, snap a photo of that, get in the store, and you'd have exactly what you need. So we've let that drain not enough, so let's let that drain some more. Be sure to put your cap back on. Trust me, makes a mess. Okay, hopefully by now you've got your oil plug back in and it's tightened down. You've got your oil filter on and it's tightened down. You've put your oil in, you've cleaned everything up, got your oil cap put back in, you're ready to go. Next thing you'd want to do is you want to get in, start your car, make sure your oil light goes off, and then you want to look under here while it's running and make sure there's not oil dripping or streaming or leaking all over the place, knowing that there is a problem. If it is, quickly run, turn it off, assess what's going on, and just fix that situation. So just very, very easy. You can do this. You can change the oil in your own vehicle. So if you had your oil, you had your filter, you had your wrench, you had a catch pan, you had something to lay on, you had all that ready, in 10 minutes you could have your oil changed. Probably quicker than that. But anyway, I just thank the Lord so good. I'm out here, I've been hearing these birds just sing all morning. I'm just terrific that I can hear them sing, and it reminds me of the scripture that he says that everything that have breath, praise the Lord. And I hope you take time today to give him thanks and give him praise for what he's put into your life and what he's given you. If you're ready to meet the Lord, I'm so glad and happy for you. Just hang on in there. John said that the axe was laid to the root. We just got to keep on chopping. But if you're not ready, we encourage you to call on the Lord, let Jesus in your life, let him save you, live for him, and get ready. You know, time is winding up, folks, and you know, we just a few more days to labor. I would encourage you, if you would, consider liking and subscribing to my channel, and we'll help you out along the way if we can. Little humor, dad jokes along the way, feats and follies. Maybe we get to talk about Jesus some. But any which way it goes, I'm Ranger Sprocket. Thanks for stopping by Project 38, and I love you.